And welcome to the Sim500 Transervice Series Monday Night Cup Series. Here at Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight, beside me in the booth, Don Runkle Jr., Aaron Grosskopf bringing you these lovely pictures. We call ourselves Don, John, and Double A Ron Show. And Don, we're in for a hell of a race tonight, buddy. Atlanta, this place is hot and slick, and we're going to see all kinds of action on track tonight, I do believe.
Oh, definitely. Hot Atlanta, man. This place is going to be crazy tonight. You're going to have multiple grooves tonight, high line, low line, and this is a fast track, and it can also get tricky really quick.
Yeah, speaking of, we saw in the Xfinity race last night that these guys were going about 10, 15 laps, and then those tires just got wicked loose on them. They were really, really loose coming out of 4, and even in the dog leg there, Don, we would see guys wiggling a lot after about 15, 20 laps, and I just look forward to more of the same tonight. Our track temperature's already up to 121 degrees. We saw 124 last night. The guys are on track qualifying right now, but during practice, we saw some really fast times laid down. What do you look for in this race tonight yourself?
Well, I was talking to a couple drivers before the race, and a lot of guys say that, might be the low line would be the place to maybe save some tires tonight, but the high line might be the place to find some speed. But no matter what line you take, you're going to want to take care of that right rear tire, because that's where going to get most of the wear when you're coming off those corners. Atlanta can really beat up the right rear tire here and just beat up tires, period. So I think what we're going to be looking for is a lot of guys searching for grip, like you were talking about, maybe about 12, 15 laps into a run. And I think we might see a few guys cutting that grass there in that infield there, getting off turn 4. I think we're going to see quite a bit of that.
One thing I did notice earlier today, I did a few laps in the A-Fix series with the A-Fix setup. That setup starts off fairly neutral and just gets a little bit tighter on you after about 4 or 5 laps, but then after 15 to 20 laps, it's slick. Of course, the temperature on the track was only 85 degrees during those races this afternoon on the iRacing servers, and like I said, we've already got some hot slickness out there at 121. So, I look for more of the same. Like you said, this is these guys. What we saw a lot of in the long runs during the race today, Don, was staying on the low line to conserve your tires, but going up high to pass people that you caught. So that might be something we see these guys here in Sim500 do as well.
That's pretty much the same thing the drivers are saying at the beginning of the race that I talked to. They were saying that they're pretty much going to run the low line so they can save those tires, and then when I make a pass, they're going to have to shoot out to the high side to do it, because they don't think passing is going to be very easy down the low end.
Well, one thing we did see last night, and I've said it 1,000 times before, running that high line is one thing, but knowing how to drive that high line, knowing how to attack that line, get in with your throttle and control that throttle is a different beast altogether. And we saw a couple of guys that went up to the high line to try and get some speed and didn't quite know how to handle themselves once they got up there. So that's going to be another thing to look at.
Yeah, coming out of turn 4, that wall can sneak up on you really quick if you're running the high line, and yeah, you definitely don't want to smack that thing.
That's true. I'll tell you what, I'm looking at these qualifying speeds right now, and they're almost a full second off from what they ran in practice, some of these guys. We haven't seen anybody crack 29-second level just yet. We had, some 29.7s, 29.8s in practice. I'm going to contribute that to the high temperatures.
Yeah, that's going to be the high temperatures. These guys just lack a grip trying to get these cars around this super fast, slick track. And, yeah, you're definitely going to see some drop-off as the track temps heat up.
Well, we're going to take a quick shout here to our in-race reporter Anthony DeBarro. He's going to be riding along with us this evening, and we're going to talk to him real quick before they grid up and get his thoughts on this race. What do you think about Don? We're going to pull him up here and talk to him.
Yeah, I don't know. Is he done qualifying? I think he is, right?
Yeah, it looks like he is.
Yeah, it looks
How
like
about
he is.
there,
Okay.
Anthony DeBarro? This is John up in the booth. We're doing pretty good, man. How'd qualifying run there go?
I was a little conservative, but I'd rather start top 10, or looks like I might be in the teens here, but I'd rather start there than mess up and be in the 30s and 40s. So I went a little too soft there. I think I did a little better job, but we'll see what happens in the race. Just try to keep all the fenders on it and go from there. It's going to be a long race.
So what are you looking forward to when this race starts off? You're going to be a little conservative, or you're going to try and get as many spots as you can right off the bat? How are you going to run it?
Unfortunately, I don't know if we're going to make it too far before a couple cautions. I think we'll settle in the midway of the race, so I might get a little aggressive here on the start and see if I can pick up 4 or 5 spots and then kind of get in and settle down. see what kind of car we got. I think it's pretty good if I can hug that white line. We'll see what happens.
All right, well, that's Anthony DeBarro, the driver of the number 27 car. Looks like he's going to be starting 12th. Good luck today, Anthony.
Thank you. Good luck up there in the booth.
I think he was in. Okay, well, there you have it, folks. Our in-race reporter, Anthony DeBarro, had a decent qualifying run. He's going to start 12th, it looks like. We've got a big field here tonight, Don. 42 cars taking the green.
Yeah, we got a lot of talent in this field, a lot of fast cars. Some of the guys that are normally fast, you can see them mid-pack. You know, what was it? Nick Cohan, he's back there in 15th. I mean, he's pretty far back there. And you got other guys, Steve Gottschalk. I mean, we're going to be talking about him earlier when we go up to the grid. But, yeah, I think this is going to be a great race tonight.
Well, we're going to go ahead and run through our top 10 in qualifying. Qualifying on the pole, at the last second, he pulled that one out. Tommy Ryan in that 99 car with a 30.576. To his outside in second place, our own Mitch Rollo in the 96 car. And look at that. It's only 5/1000ths of a second difference between him and Tommy Ryan.
Yeah, starting on the inside row, and the number 5 is going to be Justin Fuller. Outside of him, and the number 42, David Comstock.
Coming in 5th is Chad Cole in the 82. Next to him is Daniel Falkingham, that 39 car in 6th place.
Next grid up will be the number 22 of Nelson Riviera, and after him will be the number 7 of Michael Keaton.
And inside row 5, Chad Coleman in the 20 car, and outside of him, Steve Gottschalk with that. Oh, I love that car, that crayon chalk car of his in the 91. That's your grid, your top 10. The rest of the grid will roll on by the ticker there. And I tell you what, Don, we're going to get this thing on the way here shortly. Your thoughts real quick on what we're going to see the first few laps.
Oh, I mean, you heard it right from Anthony. He said he's going to try to be a little aggressive here, maybe, you know, take advantage of that early grip. We've already talked about it. You've mentioned it before, that grip is going to go away after about 12 to 15 laps. So I think these guys are going to be pretty aggressive, try to gain as many spots as they possibly can while it's kind of easier to do so, because they're going to see these guys are really going to be slipping and sliding as the run goes on. And, you know, Anthony expects to maybe have some early cautions here, too. You heard it from his own mouth there.
All righty. Well, I'll tell you what. Here we go. They're rolling off, gridded up, getting ready to start this thing. And I'm going to tell you what, here's what I think is what we're going to see here. We're going to see a few of these guys that are up front today. You got guys like Mitch Rollo, Keaton, the 7. These guys aren't used to running up front that often with the Sim500 group. So I'll say they'll probably be a little conservative. And I'm really impressed with Mitch Rollo's run, by the way. That qualifying run he's got there at the outside pole, man, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's a very impressive run for Mitch Rollo there in the 96. We'll be definitely keeping an eye on him tonight.
And I'll tell you, I'm also surprised that, you know, Tommy Ryan maybe didn't try that outside line on the start. We saw that a couple of times last night. But, you know, then again, that inside line right now has all the grip. So I don't know what the hell I'm talking about sometimes, Don. It's been a long day, brother.
Well, you know, I mean, it's early on in the run. They're going to, you know, they're just starting the race out here. So, you know, grip is pretty much everywhere. So I don't really think it's going to be a problem right here as we see the pace car about to pull off.
There he goes. Pace car is off. Green flag is going to be in the air right about here. Pretty decent start there, looks like, on that outside row by Rollo in the 96. He might even take the lead going down to the 1 there, Don.
Yeah, they're definitely battling side by side going into turn 1. Looks like Tommy Ryan's going to keep it on the outside. Mitch tries to get a little momentum, but I think Tommy's going to nose him out. But just as I say that, Mitch gets that momentum on the high side. Looks like he might clear Tommy.
Look at that. The 96 of Mitch Rollo takes the lead on the backstretch. So much for being conservative, not used to being up front. He is not wasting any time to show these boys he's up here to race and win.
Yeah, definitely. Right off the bat, Mitch is taking the lead there. Great start there. You got the guys pretty much lining up in the back. They're pretty much single file all the way back to, it looks like about 10th. Might be a battle there side by side, I think. Trying to figure out what car that is.
In the meantime, up front, it looks like Rollo's going to continue to spread that lead out a little bit there. He's already got about 6 car lengths going down into 3, but like we said at the beginning of the show, they're all down that bottom line right now, trying to save those tires. Oh, the 5 gets on the apron, gets a little out of shape. He saves it, but that's going to give the 82 a chance to get down to his inside, come across the start-finish line. And it looks to me like Fuller's going to lose that spot to Chad Cole in that 82 car, so put Fuller back to 4th place. Comstock behind him in 5th. And a little further back in the field, you're right, we've got a scrum going back here between the 44 car of Glenn Campbell, the 19 of, he just disappeared. I don't know if he's got a bad connection there or what, but Gabriel Perry He's kind of stuck on the outside right now, and he's got Ben Kilcrease down here on his inside, and that 00 looking to take that spot away from him.
Yeah, these guys are kind of fighting right here. You can see that a lot of grip right now on the track. These guys are all pretty much on the bottom end of the track, but you do see a few guys kind of poking their noses up here and there. Right now, their cars are going to be super fast because they got all that grip, and these guys are really going to try to take advantage of that.
Well, don't forget, folks, you can see us now on 3 different platforms. You can watch us here on YouTube. You can see us on Facebook on our page, and also find us on Twitch, the Sim Racing Network, on all 3 platforms. Look us up, favorite us, like us, give us a shout. Set your notifications up so you know when we go live. In the meantime, look at this fight we've got. Kilcrease got tired of trying on the inside. He's on the outside now. See if he can't get a little bit of a momentum built up here going through 1 and 2, try and take that spot away. Behind him, we have the 21 car, and that's going to be Nicholas Cohan in that car tonight. And behind him, we have another one, Kevin DeBrown of the Crossover Motorsports guys. He's looking pretty good. And then look at that throwback Skittles car we have back here in the 09. That's a good-looking car, too.
Yeah, I like that Skittles car. That's a really nice looking car. You definitely can see that car on the track. Can't ever say I didn't see him coming or anything. I mean, all those colors on that thing. It's definitely a nice car.
I just saw another pass on the outside there by the 83 of Jason Barham. I tell you what, look at that car. You know what that reminds me of, Don? Remember those rocket popsicles, the red, white, and blue popsicles we used to get when we were kids?
Yeah, from the ice cream truck that goes by. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Looks like, man. Look at that.
It does.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah, that's a cool
he's making
car.
that outside work. Look at him. He really just wasted no time getting by the 40 car back there. Now he's got his sights set on the 09. This is all for top 20 right now, but back up front. And it looks like Mitch Rollo's lead has shrunk just a little bit to Chad Cole there. You tell you what, again, he might be using those tires up pretty quick, but then again, he's got that clean air on his nose, Don, which really helps him out a lot.
Helps him out a lot that he doesn't have to worry about other cars in front of him. He can just run whatever line he wants, whatever line he feels comfortable. He's keeping that car right on the bottom, so kind of slowly drifting it up in the corners, hugging that white line, kind of trying to save those tires, maybe save that right rear a little bit. He knows he's got Chad Cole on him, but right now Chad Cole's the one chasing him, so Mitch can kind of just run his pace and save his tires a little bit. Chad's the one that's got to catch him.
And, we've seen in the past, Chad, last night especially, he started, I think, 34th, was fighting for the lead before the last crazy restart last night, Don, so he knows how to get his way through the crowds and get his way past drivers, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him, do his best to take that lead away from Roll as soon as he can. And another one I want to keep our eye on tonight is that 20 car of Chad Coleman. Chad's one of those guys that we've known for a while, takes care of his stuff. You see him right now on the outside getting passed by DeBarro down there in that 27 car that we talked about earlier. That's our race reporter. Coleman is known for just letting guys go by him, saving his tires, saving his stuff on his car, and then being there in the long run, at the end of that long run, and just picking people off one by one. So we'll keep our eyes on him. And that's for 10th place right there. Now behind him, we got Kilcrease. Fight with Campbell to try and move up there. Looks like Campbell's trying to take that spot away from Kilcrease on the outside. He might just do it right here.
Yeah, he's got Josh Parker also on the outside that might get a run going. Might try to follow that 44 on through. Ben's going to stay on the bottom line there. Then it looks like Josh Parker moved to the bottom too. Got a head of steam there. Looked like he had to whoa it up a little bit behind Ben. Right now, you're seeing these multiple lines, multiple grooves going on. Looks like Nick Cohan's actually going to take a peek down inside of Josh Parker there as they dive into the corner. Looks like Cohan's trying to get a run on Kilcrease, but he can't quite get in there as Parker's going to pass Cohan on the outside as they go into the tri-oval.
And don't look now, but I tell you what, the temperature's up to 127 degrees, 28 now. 128 degrees on track. These tires are going to start getting real slick here shortly. We're on lap 11 out of 130. DeBarro has already moved himself up into the top 9 right there with that move past Gottschalk in the 91. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but don't worry, you're not going to miss a thing. We're going to hear corner to corner, and we'll maintain that for you so you can keep an eye on what's going on, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium? Check. Formaldehyde? Check. Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
And welcome back to Atlanta. Not a whole lot has changed too much. When we went to commercial, Don, Mitch had about a 2/10 lead of second. He got a little loose right there and allowed Cole to get back up, but it's still about the same distance between the two of them.
Yeah, it's not too much has changed. Look like maybe Tommy Ryan's catching up to Chad Cole just a little bit. You can see these guys are running different lines. Mitch still running on the bottom side. Looks like Chad and Tommy have kind of moved up a little bit, maybe from the middle of the track just a tad. You're definitely seeing different lines coming into play now.
A lap time by Chad Cole was 2/10 of a second exactly back from Mitch Rollo. And it looks like everybody kind of starting to move up a little bit there, looking for that grip like we talked about. We're 18 laps into this thing, Don, of 130 laps. And right about now is like we've seen in the past, and we saw especially with the B car last night. 20 laps in, these cars just get wicked loose. We'll start seeing some guys trying to catch this thing all over the place, coming out of turn 4 especially, and then coming through the dogleg, believe it or not. We saw a bunch of guys losing the dogleg last night.
Yeah, these cars will get to be a handful to take care of. You know, as the fuel run carries on, the back of the car will have a little less weight in it. These tires will have more wear on it, especially that right rear. So you'll see these guys kind of start to drift that car up toward the wall a little bit more, but they don't want to get too close to that thing.
No, the wall is not your friend. Neither is the apron here. Oh, we got one spinning in front of the leaders right there, but the green does not come out. The yellow doesn't come out. They stay green. And I believe that might have been the 83, and he's not alone. He had somebody with him there.
Yeah, I didn't exactly see what happened there, but I definitely saw the 83 down on the apron. It looks like they might have just lost it and, got off track. Nobody else got involved, and the track was cleared, so iRacing decided not to throw a yellow.
There was a couple of cars that got loose there. It looks like some have some damage, some of them don't. But like I said, we stay green there, and that's unfortunate that car's got some damage now. But they're going to get it fixed, I'm sure, and get back out there as soon as they can. In the meantime, back up front, Mitch Rollo has extended his lead just a little bit, but he is right up there, way up in that high side. I've never seen anybody run that close to the wall before, Don, and not actually get into it. That was pretty good.
Yeah, he's definitely changed his line. You can see, coming here through 3, he's about to groove up more than he was before. Caution has come out on the track.
Caution's out.
Trying to find out what the cause of that is.
I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Oh, goodness, it was Kevin DeBrown and Gottschalk, it looks like. Kevin DeBrown in that 93 car. It looks like he got some help there from Gottschalk coming into that turn. It looks like it was just two cars really fighting. It looks like they both got a little loose. They were both trying to catch it, and Gottschalk just lost it in the end there, and they both got a little bit of damage there, but they didn't collect anybody else, and that's really the good news right there.
Yeah, just got a little loose. It looked like Nerf just got just a tick loose going, setting up for that corner. And yeah, I think both cars are okay. It didn't look like they really got too much damage. Maybe just the contact from each other. Not too sure. We'll have to see how those cars both come back out after the pits and after they make some repairs.
Yeah, they'll get some repairs made, and here we go down in the pits now. Look, one thing we've seen all year long from the Sim500 guys across all their series are mistakes on pit road, and that will cost you big time. We saw it in the 500 last week, and tonight I'm sure we'll see it again. So right now these leaders got to focus on what they're doing, get in these pits, get their their stop done, and then get out. And look at that already, Rollo rolled through his pits. Yep.
Justin Fuller in the number 5. It looks like he nosed pit road wall. He might have made contact or might have just locked up his brakes.
He's got some damage there, Don.
Yeah, on the front of his car, he's got some damage. So that's definitely going to slow his pit stop down, and hopefully his car doesn't overheat here.
That's something he's going to have to look out for, especially with our temperatures at 130 right now. And we saw it. I mean, maybe I should just not say that anymore. It seems like every time I say that, or Ben mentions it, or somebody mentions it in the booth, boom, we got like 4 or 5 guys that screwed up on pit road and wind up taking themselves out of contention. Now, Rollo got lucky. He didn't lose too much under that stop, even though he kind of went through his pits a little bit there. It looks like he's going to come out maybe 3rd or 4th. But I tell you what, Fuller smacked that wall pretty hard. He's going to have to get that damage fixed, and hopefully it won't, like you said, he won't overheat with that. And that's definitely something he's going to have to be concerned with. Where track temps right now are 125 degrees, so he's going to have to keep his eyes on those gauges from now on out.
Yeah, better it happen under caution than pit than under green for a pit, because maybe he can at least come back in, get the damage fixed, be at the tail end of the all these cars here, but at least he'll stay on the lead lap and be able to fix that damage, see how bad it is.
In the meantime, the 83 and the 26, they are going to try and get the wave around, it looks like. So they're not really up front of everybody, folks. That's just they haven't pitted yet, or not pitted, but they haven't gotten their wave around. But it looks like Comstock come out of the pit with the lead right there.
Yeah, he had a great pit stop. Dave Comstock, messing up his name. Talk to him all the time. Know the guy. Should be able to say his name properly. Yeah, he had a great pit stop there. He's going to be up front, going to have the lead here. Tommy Ryan's going to be on the outside of him, and our own Mitch Rollo is going to be in 3rd on the inside.
Well, like I said, Mitch got lucky there. He could have lost a lot more spots, but he didn't. And in the meantime, let's look back there and see where Fuller's at. Fuller looks like he's sitting 11th right now. And that damage doesn't look to be too bad. It looks like he got it repaired pretty good. I can't even see any damage, really. It looks like they got it all beat back down for him, so that's good news.
Yeah, I mean, he hit the wall pretty hard, but, it was under yellow. He's only going so fast, so, it was on pit road. Like, he has to maintain pit road speed, and it looked like he was slowing down for his pit stall. So it's not like he was going full speed. I'm sure it was just superficial damage, but I'm sure he'll be keeping an eye on those temperatures.
So we're going to rack them and stack them, folks. Get this thing going green again. In the meantime, let's read you our top 10 after the pit stops. Excuse me, it's going to be David Comstock in 1st, Tommy Ryan 2nd, Mitch Rollo 3rd, Daniel Falkingham's up from 6th to 4th, excuse me. Anthony DeBarro has busted himself into the top 5 there. Nelson Rivera 6th, Chad Cole 7th, Josh Parker 8th, and our very own Ben Kilcrease 9th, and Michael, I'm Batman, Keaton brings up 10th.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are having great runs. Some of these guys coming from, mid-pack, now cracking the top 10, be able to see what they can do now. They got some fresh rubber, and we're about to have another run here.
I am really impressed with Crossover Motorsports tonight. They've got guys in the top 10. 3 out of their 4 drivers, one of them only just out because he's had a bad accident, but they're all looking fast tonight. So here we go, Don. That pace car is about to duck in here. They're going down through 3 and 4 now. What do you think we're going to see from this next run? We did 23 laps in the green, and we saw some guys getting wicked loose.
I mean, the track temperatures is just getting warmer, but these guys got fresh rubber now, so we're going to have to see how that changes things. These guys didn't seem like they were too aggressive. We saw a few guys go off earlier in the race, but I don't know. I think we're going to see some of the same. Just smart racing, these guys trying to feel it out. We still have a long way to go.
I'm betting that Mitch Rollo's not going to waste any time trying to get his lead back.
No, he's probably going to try to get that back right away. I think he likes being up front in that clean air.
I'm sure he did. Well, here we go, folks. Pace car's about to jump off the track. Right there he goes. And we're about to go back to green. Tommy Ryan's laying back a little bit. Gets a horrible start. Spun his tires. That's going to bottleneck everybody. We might even see 3 wide going through turn 1 here. Oh my goodness, that's not something you wanted to see when you're behind that guy.
Tommy Ryan looked like he thought better of it. They were 3 wide for a little bit there in the trial behind Mitch Rollo. But right now, Comstock's going out to a commanding lead. Mitch Rollo's not too far behind, a few car lengths back, but they're 2 by 2 back behind them.
And we're hearing from our producer, the 5 have had some issues back there in the middle of the pack. They look like they got all that wound up good and tight. Rolling still. And in the meantime, I tell you what, don't look now, but, you know, Rollo's chasing down that leader. He's definitely wanting his lead back. We got a scrum going back here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th between 27 of DeBarro, the 39 of Falkingham, and Chad Cole in that 82. They're all kind of vying for that same spot right there. Meanwhile, behind them, here comes Rivera in the 22 down low on the 39. I'm sorry, the 99 of Tommy Ryan. Looks like Tommy's still trying to get his tires underneath him there.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, you see Chad Cole trying to duck behind the 27 Anthony DeBarro, and those guys, it almost got into the back of him there. Got a little loose, and you can see these guys catching right up on him. I don't think he was expecting him to blow up that much in the corner. Maybe just got a good run, but wow, he definitely saved it there. That could have been big.
That could have been real big, and he was able to stay off the bumper of DeBarro there at 27. And in the meantime, back up front, let's check in on our leaders, and look at this. Falkingham's made quick work of the 27 there, and has pulled up to the bumper there of the 96 of Mitch Rollo, and he's on the bumper of the 42 of Comstock. We could have a 3-car fight here for the lead shortly. Look at that. Rollo's already going up to the outside looking for that extra grip.
Yeah, he's going up there. He knows that Daniel's right behind him. He's got to look for that grip, but he's got that momentum. You see him carry all that speed on the high side as he chases down Dave Comstock going into turn 3.
And here we go, 3 and 4. We got a fight for the lead between the 96 of Rollo and the 42 of Comstock down low, and Mitch is in that preferred line. If he can hold his momentum here and just keep it going, he will probably take that lead, come off of 2 here next time by.
He had an excellent run coming off that corner. He carried that speed all the way through the tri-oval, carried it all the way on the front stretch into turn 1. You see him got a little high there. Comstock keeps it on the bottom, gets those tires a little bit below that white line, and Rollo's definitely able to carry that momentum past him, and he completes the pass, gets back into first place as they power down into turn 3.
I'll tell you what, that 96 is looking awfully, awfully strong right now. If we're going to have to pick a favorite this early in the race on the race, this early in the race on lap 30 of 130, it's got to be that 96, Doug. I mean, Don, I'm sorry. I'm so wound up right now. This is crazy. But, I mean, he is so strong right now. It's very, very impressive.
Yeah, not only did he pass Comstock, but he actually got a good commanding lead there. You see him walk away from him right now as those guys battle behind him for position. It looks like Comstock's going to have to worry about the 39 now. But Mitch Rollo's definitely showing something to the field tonight. I mean, he led early, kind of fell back for a little bit, maybe didn't have a bad pit stop, but just the other guys in front of him had good pit stops. And now, I mean, that didn't really matter. He's able to get back up there, able to make it work, and hopefully he doesn't use his tires up too much and fall back.
I don't think it's going to be a problem. And folks, do not adjust your screens and TVs and monitors. It's not the picture that's going dark. It's the track. We've actually got dynamic weather now in iRacing, Don, and as you know, and it's one of my favorite aspects of iRacing now. But what that's going to do is that's going to move cloud cover over this track periodically throughout the race, and that's going to change our temperature. It started down to about 128 from 129 earlier when we restarted the race. So we'll keep our eyes on that too, because that definitely, Don, affects the grip.
Well, the weather does say partly cloudy, so, some of these guys might get a few clouds that go in front of the sun and cool this track off a little bit. It will definitely get some grip and make these guys a little quicker. So they definitely would like to see those clouds come out a little bit more, I bet.
Now behind the 96 car, our leader, the 42's got his hands full with that outside line again. Daniel Falkingham, the 39. He saw what Mitch did on the outside, so he's going to try and roll up there and maybe take that spot away from the 42 now.
Yeah, he's making that high line work as he's kind of getting that car, trying to get it past him, trying to carry that momentum past Comstock. Comstock's got to whoa it up just a little bit when you run that low line. That's the thing, the low line, you kind of bound the car up a little bit. The high line, you can carry the speed, but at the same time, you're going to use your tires up in the high line as opposed to the low line. You can save them a little bit. But you see these guys having a great battle right here, side by side, as Chad Cole's behind them, just trying to figure out what's going to kind of happen with those guys right there.
Well, in the meantime, we've gone 6 laps now since that restart. And I tell you what, these guys are already fishing for grip up there in the middle of the high line. Look at Ryan way, way up high in turns 1 and 2 right there. way up against that safer barrier, and this is just going to continue throughout this run. If we stay green, you're going to see these guys just looking for grip everywhere on the track.
Yeah, and right now Comstock might be struggling just a little bit with these tires. Maybe he wore them out a little bit because it looks like some of the guys are making that high line work on him. We've already seen him get passed once by Daniel Falkenheim, and now we got Chad Cole about to go by him. Tommy Ryan's working that high line, so might be a good time to switch that line up a little bit. He's still hugging that white line, though. Some of those guys really like to be down there.
Well, we mentioned that earlier. You get less tire wear down there in the low line, and we know Comstock is a guy who will let people by. I touched on this earlier. He'll just let them go. And, he's another one of those guys like Coleman. Let him go if they're faster than him right now and take care of his stuff, take care of his tires, because he knows if it goes long enough, he'll get back by him later on. So we'll probably keep our eye on that. But in the meantime, let's go over our top 10 again because things are shaking up a little bit there. Mitch Rollo took the lead back. He's leading again. Falkingham in second. Cole in third. Comstock fourth. Ryan fifth. Rivera is now up to sixth. Navarro seventh. Ben Gilcrease having a great run going on right now, eighth place. And then Josh Parker ninth and Glenn Campbell in 10th spot. And we'll see this change throughout the race, folks. But right now, it's going to stay steady. And as I say that, look at that move that Cole just put on Falkingham. Took that spot away on the low side, so moved Cole up to second spot.
He just dove down in there and took that spot away from him. Look like Daniel might be struggling a little bit. As you can see, Comstock looking low on him right now. That's the thing, it's almost like these cars your tires kind of go through these heat cycles. Like these guys run them real hard for a few laps, and then they actually have to kind of cool them down just a little bit. These tires do go through these different heat cycles here on the track, especially when you're going through these different lines, running high, running low like that. So these guys definitely, tires are the name of the game tonight in this race.
Well, we started this race, Don, with 42 cars, and right now 39 of them are still on the lead lap with only 2 cars down 1 lap. And then Jason Barham, who was in that earlier incident, he's down 2 laps. But we still got everybody in the race right now, and that's impressive considering it's Atlanta and it's 42 cars on the track.
Yeah, we see Chad Cole, man. He's just dominating tonight. He's been able to bring it up into second place right now, starting from 5th. He started in the top 5, but right now he's got his sights set on that 96 of Mitch Rollo.
Well, they're teammates, so I'm pretty sure they've both been practicing all week long. I've talked to Mitch and Ben several times this week. They've been doing a lot of laps here at Atlanta, getting ready for this race. So I just kind of wonder how aggressive he's going to go after that lead once he catches his teammate there.
I mean, it might be a matter of, if he's able to catch him, maybe Mitch, I don't know, maybe Mitch will be one of those kind of things where it's like, hey, it's my teammate. Obviously, he's faster. He's caught me. Maybe he'll move over a little bit, let Chad have the lead. But then again, Mitch has had that lead twice, and he did fight for it twice. So I don't know if he's going to be that. I don't know if he's going to lay over, roll over and just get handing the lead that easy.
Well, we're going to find out here in a minute because I tell you what, Cole has caught the 96, and look at this. The 96 goes up to that mid to high line and lets Cole on by, I think, maybe.
That's what it kind of looked like to me.
Slide in behind him, it looks like.
That kind of looked like a little teammate. Hey, you're faster. I'll move out of the way. Here you go. I'll just stuck in behind you kind of thing.
Well, they need to be smart about it, too. I mean, you don't want to wreck yourselves fighting for the lead this early in the race. We're not even halfway yet. We're only on lap 41, coming to 42 out of 130 laps here at Atlanta. So, it's a smart move. I mean, he sees he's faster. Let him go on by and just take care of the car.
Oh, definitely. Smart racing. They're racing for points. These guys are, we haven't even talked about it tonight. These guys, it's early on in the race, but they're going to be definitely racing for points, even though we're only a few races into the season. But every point matters. It all matters at the end of the year. And right now, these guys are just trying to get as many points as they possibly can on the track, and they all, everything matters. And right now, team racing, as you see Chad Cole, I mean, he's really pulled away from these guys. Ever since Mitch let him by, he's kind of really pulled away, and Mitch has kind of slipped back to the pack there.
And Mitch has his hands full right now with the 39 of Falkingham, and I tell you what, it may be a case of, like you said, maybe he wore those tires out, set too much of a fast pace there when he took that. Oh, look at that wiggle, the big wiggle out of Chad Cole, our leader there. That's going to cause him a little bit of space between himself and Rollo. But, yeah, I think you were right there, Don, earlier when you said it. I think Mitch probably just kind of killed his tires a little bit driving that fast pace he was driving.
Yeah, he might have. He kind of settled back in now. We did see that big wiggle by Chad Cole. That's one of the things you're going to see that now. These guys are kind of into that tire wear mode here. As you see Rollo, he's kind of running up high as Daniel goes down low on him. We're seeing that line change now. We're seeing those guys try to search for grip. Rollo obviously thinks it's up high, and Daniel thinks it's down low.
Well, 17 laps into this run, Don. That's about the time we start seeing the tires start to give up on them and get a little slick. Our temperature is down to 120, which isn't too bad, but it's still pretty doggone hot. So, yeah, grip is going away on them, and this is where we start to separate the wheat from the chaff, as they say. The guys who can drive versus the guys who can't.
Yeah, most definitely. And you see Chad Cole, the leader, going back to the bottom now. He's really hugging that white line. He kind of likes, it's almost like he wants to stay down there, but at the same time, I think he'd rather be up high. As you see, Mitch just got one heck of a run on him right there. He got to really close that gap on him.
He got a great run coming off of 2, running that high line through 1 and 2. And, oh, look at another wiggle out of Cole. This is what I love about this time of the race, Don, is where you see these guys really starting to have to, manhandle these vehicles, fighting with that wheel inside the cockpit.
Yeah, definitely. And you kind of see Cole is, it looks like he's searching around the track right now for a good line. He ran the middle right there through, I think, 1 and 2 right there. He was running the middle of the track, and now he brings it back down to the bottom as Rollo follows him down there. You see these guys, they keep evolving their lines. You see these guys going high, low, middle. I mean, they're searching all over this place for grip, and it all depends really on which line these guys run the most and which one will lay down the most rubber and which line will kind of like come in later on in the race. Like you see this time, he's running right near the middle to the high line there. Chad Cole, the leader.
Absolutely. That was my favorite place to run the track. About this time of the run was middle to high because it just, you feel like Superman up there. Your car is handling great. But, I don't know if Rollo is really, look at this, here he comes. Yeah, he's making a lot of ground up on Cole. Now he's going to have a hard time getting by him, I think, down there on the inside, though, Don. Or maybe
I don't know.
Not.
Like you said it before, they're teammates. They might have been communicating on the radio that whole time. As you see, it looks like Chad Cole might be trying to battle back. Now Rollo's able to carry that speed, but they're probably talking on the radio, talking to each other. Chad might be, telling him, hey, I'm struggling just a little bit, and Mitch is like, hey, I'm coming, let me go by, I mean, they're definitely, if they're teammates in their same channel, they're going to be talking about this whole situation, so.
Now, you'll remember, Don, at the start of this, at the restart of this race back there about 18, 19 laps ago, we saw the 42 car of Comstock get passed by 4 or 5 cars and just kind of slip on back. Well, look who's up to third now.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. I've been watching him. I've been watching him pretty much the whole time since that happened. You were definitely right. That's kind of his MO right there. He's like kind of like old Mark Martin used to do the same thing. He'd be one of those drivers that would be like, hey, go ahead. You're faster than me. Go ahead. Go by. Go ahead, Rocket Man. You can go right on by. And then later on in the run, when you wear your tires out, I'll be there to pass you. And that's kind of what Comstock's doing right now. I mean, we saw Chad Cole struggling. He's had some tire wear issues, I think. I think maybe Chad just kind of burned his stuff up a little bit, and now we see Comstock in third place, sneaking right up on his bumper, looking to maybe take that spot away from Chad Cole.
That was a great comparison. Mark Martin was so good at that, and here he comes. He's really pulling into Cole there, that 82. And the thing is, the more you wiggle, the more loose you get like that, the more you're going to wear those tires up. And so it's like compounding the problem, kind of snowball effect, In the meantime, the 42 has caught the 82, and we're about to have a fight for second place there, Don. That was I guess that was a planned move by Cole, but it looked like he wiggled a lot right there.
It did. And let's go back to what you were just saying. Wiggling like that, causes them to move the wheel more because they're basically trying to save the car. And the more you move the wheel, the more your tires are going to wear. So it's like you said, it's a catch-22. It's a snowball effect or whatever you want to call it. The more you're trying to fight with that car, the more you're moving the wheel, the more that car's moving around the track, and the more the tires are going to wear out on that car.
Absolutely. And what surprises me is we see the 42 still hugging that white line still. He's just making it work for him. And, you said at the top of the show, some guys prefer it down there and don't want to move off of it, and some guys will move off of it in search of grip. But Comstock is really making it work for him.
Yeah, he's making that low line work. He's kind of, he's kind of taking a high line into the corner and bringing it down a little bit. Sometimes he even gets those tires below that white line. I was noticing that a few times. Sometimes they can make the car, help the car turn just a little bit. You almost free the car up if you feel like it's going a little tight. And you can see him, he dives right down into the corner right there. He had a high run going in, and he just dives it right down into the corner. And he can hold it down there as Chad Cole just stays up high. And you can see him right against the wall, Chad Cole is.
I wish we had a camera on Chad Cole's hands coming out of 4 that last time by, because it looked like he was swatting at bees in there or something.
Yeah, I've been watching his car pretty close in the mirror and or in the window, and he is definitely fighting that corner coming off, or fighting that car coming off the corner, especially in turn 4. He's really turning that car to try to keep it going in the right direction coming out of the corner there.
In the meantime, our leader is loving what he's seeing with him fighting back there. He's moved his lead out to almost a second, just a little tick under a second there. Mitch Rolo has, and he's got to be loving that, Don. That means he's got all that clean air in front of him, clean air behind him. He doesn't have to worry about anybody running to the back of him. He just has to run his race.
Well, not only that, the guys back there, if they're running side by side and they're racing each other like this, they're not going to be quite as fast as the leader when he's by himself, especially if these guys actually get to racing side by side for a couple laps. Rolo's definitely going to love that, because these guys will fall back to him. As you see Comstock one more time diving it down in there on Chad Cole.
And the thing is, if he can just stay up side by side with him, unfortunately he can't do that because Cole's got that outside line. That's the best line to be right now. If he could just maintain some of that space right there next to him, he could probably side draft with him and even slow him up even more, maybe make the pass. But I just feel like if you're going to be successful right now at passing somebody at this stage of the race, at this stage of the run, you've got to move to that middle to high line and do it.
Well, not only that, he's got to take into account how long is he going to be able to keep the car down there and dive it in there. How, the abuse he might be putting on those tires. Trying to make that pass. How long does he really try to fight? As you can see, Anthony DeBarro, our in-race reporter, he's back there behind Comstock, and he's just kind of watching right now. He's got somebody behind him himself that he has to fend off, but he's looking at Comstock. It kind of looks like the more and more Comstock tries to get that inside line, the more and more Chad Cole is ever to kind of maybe walk away, not walk away, but kind of inch away from him just a little bit, because Comstock's not able to dive it in there as deep as he was before.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, this is the longest run we've had of the race right now, coming up on 30 laps after the restart. 30 laps on these tires, Don, is not fun for some of these guys. And as we look back further through the field, we'll see a bunch of guys getting very loose, coming off the corners, coming down through the dog leg. We've got a car with an immense amount of damage. Who is that? That's the 15 of Nick Silver. I don't know who or what he hit, but the nose of his car is crunched.
Oh, yeah, his car's beat up pretty bad. I don't know. He might have got involved in that early incident, or we did have a couple cars that didn't bring out a yellow that had an issue. I'm not sure if he was one of them,
yeah.
But he might have been one of them. I'm not exactly sure. I thought one of them was a red car, but we couldn't really exactly tell who it was. But, yeah, this is definitely a long run. I was talking to a couple of drivers like I do before the race, and I was asking them what the fuel run's going to be on this, and a lot of them just kind of laughed at me and was like, we don't even have to worry about a fuel run. Tires are going to be an issue before that. They weren't even worried about it, but they did tell me it was anywhere between, I think it was like 55 to 60 laps for a fuel run. I might be wrong about.
We did the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I could be a little bit. I might be off a little bit there, but I think it's going to be about that. But I honestly think some of these guys will probably pit before we get that far on a fuel run.
Well, we ran I ran A fixed, A open, and both times we had one 60-lap run between cautions, and I had to pit about lap 52 for fuel. So
okay, so it's close.
But I also was running a lot slower laps towards the end of that run because my car I was literally sideways coming off of 4 about 5 or 6 laps before I finally pitted for tires. It was
these guys.
Scary.
These cars will definitely be a handful for these guys the longer these runs go. I mean, these tires are just going to be really, really wore out. You'll see a lot of guys probably. I mean, wouldn't be surprised if we see a few more guys get off track and it doesn't necessarily bring out a yellow because, one car just sliding out, it's not going to necessarily bring out a yellow. But I think you'll definitely see that, especially coming off turn 4.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you don't want to be that first guy to pit just in case somebody does bring out a caution.
That's true too.
That's you're just kind of playing a gambling game right now and just trying to figure out when to pit, and you're hoping that the caution comes out before you pit, and then once you're in the pit, you're hoping the son of a gun don't come out at all.
And usually the first guy that pits usually sets a precedence there. You'll usually see the rest of the field within a lap or two coming right behind him because they don't want to lose that time that they would lose on those old tires as opposed to those guys that would be coming out on new tires. Exactly.
As a comparison, Don, when we went to green, they were running about 31.1 second laps, and this last time by, Mitch in the 96, Mitch Rolo ran a 33 flat. So there's a lot of drop-off on these tires over 25, 30 laps.
Oh, and we're not even all the way there yet. I'm watching Dave Comstock right there. coming out of turn 2, he got a little loose and was literally loose the whole backstretch. Just kind of, I heard him feathering the throttle a little bit. Oh, you see pit stops right now as Rollo and Chad Cole both make their way onto pit road.
Wow, I'm not real sure what happened there, but Mitch really woed that car down a lot. I hope he didn't get hit with a speeding penalty, but this is where it's going to be critical on the green flag cautions. Green flag pit stops, not to make any mistakes at all.
No, you cannot make a mistake here. We've talked about it week in and week out. Making mistakes on pit road transfers huge onto the track, and under green, it's even more disastrous if you make a mistake on pit road.
So we've got our leaders all pitting in right now, which is going to open the floodgates for guys coming in the pits, and hopefully that will, not cause any cautions, because now's not the time for a caution when you're the first cars in on these pit stops.
You definitely, coming down pit road, trying to get your car woed up when you're on these war tires is also very hard to do. You don't want to see a guy kind of scoot off into the grass, maybe come back onto the track, as we see Dave Comstock, I think, just pulled into his pit stall.
Well, that brings Anthony DeBarro to the front. He's got the lead now, but I'm pretty sure he'll be ducking in. Now everybody else has. You don't want to stay out too long on these old tires. You're giving up almost 2 seconds, Don. We just covered that a minute ago. Per lap on these old tires. That is not something you want to do, is stay out too long and wind up losing so much distance between yourself and the guys you're fighting for the lead.
No, it's definitely a fine line between when you're going to stay out and how long you want to, if you want to be on the lead. I mean, if a caution comes out and you're in the lead and everybody's caught on pit road, that's great for you. But at the same time, do you want to take that gamble? So, I think you're going to see guys like Anthony DeBarro coming down pit road probably any time now.
Well, here we are. This is the halfway point, folks. Lap 65 coming to 66 right now across the line. And another thing to keep in mind, Don, is maybe some of these guys are trying to time it to where they can get by without having to stop again if this thing continues to go green all the way.
Yeah, they're going to try. Some of these guys might be trying to stretch it into making it a one-stop race here. Or, well, I mean, we did have caution early, but like from here on out, they might, just try to be making it on a fuel run.
Well, if you keep in mind that we pitted under that first caution, the only caution we've had so far, on lap 25. So you go 50 laps from there, that's lap 75. You can definitely make it. If you get to about lap 76 or so, you can make it on one. So, look at that, man. Mitch Rollo on those new tires caught that 9 car so fast they had to dodge each other as they make their way around our leader. And as I was saying, though, you could do it if you do it right. But again, the gamble you're taking with that is losing so much time on track to guys with new tires, like we just saw with Mitch Rollo passing up DeBarro and getting himself back on the lead lap.
Yeah, you can see he just passed him like he was standing still. I mean, the drop-off on tires, as we talked about, is just huge. I mean, our leader, Anthony DeBarro, he's about to cross the start-finish line. Last time ran a 33.5 or 33.5 compared to what guys like, let's see, Mitch Rollo, who just passed him, I'm trying to see what the last lap time he ran, was a 31.6. So it's a huge drop-off for lap times on new tires and old tires.
Well, what's crazy is Mitch passing going into 3 and 4. I mean, coming off of 3 and 4, or going in like the middle of 3 and 4, and was already at turn 1 by the time DeBarro got to the start-finish line. That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast these guys get going, and that's the biggest place you're going to see the tires is in the corners. I mean, going down the straight, these guys, they're just going straight. Obviously, don't have as much tire wear. And the corners is where you're going to see the most drop-off between new tires and old tires, because these guys just have to woe it up so much going through the corner with these old tires.
Well, right now, the 96 is fighting with a 39 for the spot of 13th and 12th. And it looks to me like Mitch is going to take that spot away from Daniel Falkingham. He did it on the outside, too. He's loving that outside. He's got some great momentum up there. They'll come up on a lap car, the 43 car there, trying to get their way around him. And then the 26 will be the next car they pass up. But we'll see where this shakes out here. Anthony DeBarro is still on track. So who knows what game he's playing there. But, good luck to him. That's all I can say.
I mean, yeah, like you said, he might be trying to go further. We got Nick Cohan also. He's another car that didn't look like he didn't pit yet. And they are teammates. So maybe they're trying to work some kind of field strategy together.
And it could work out in their favor as long as it stays green. I'm guessing, they think they can make it all the way without stopping again after this last stop. In the meantime, it looks like Parker Cohen, Gabriel Perry, and Chad Coleman have yet to pit. All these guys. I think the first one that hit the pits is gonna be Mitch Rollo. I'm guessing. It's hard to tell, really, to be honest with you.
I think it was Mitch. I think he was the first one to come on pit road. I think you got Chris Gaboo, Shane Hewing, Doy Woods, Trey Etzen, Timothy Johnson, Niall Standish. I think all these guys have not pitted yet. Those guys are all, I think they're just kind of gambling, trying to stay out as long as they can.
That's what it looks like to me too. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I don't know. That's just too big of. I'm not a gambler, man. I'm really not, especially not Atlanta. That's not. That's
well,
not
this is my thing. With. You know, it's so hard to drive these cars with the, these tires the way they are. The longer the run goes, and now you got a lot of guys out here on new tires. You only have a very limited amount of guys that are on old tires. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just, you see Mitch Rollo right now just passed Chris Gaboo, and he was one of the first guys that has yet to make a pit stop, and he passed him like he was standing still. So it's just a matter of time before he catches the leaders here. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I don't know about this strategy here for Anthony DeBarro.
Well, we're going to find out as this plays out. In the meantime, let's see who we have left in this race. It looks like Jason Barham just pulled his car behind pit wall, and he's going to call it a night. We still have 41 cars in this race right now, and 18 of them on the lead lap. So if this continues the way it's been going and this stays green, oh man, we're going to have a stretched out field, Don, to say the least. Oh my goodness, that closure rate between the 96 and the 12 right there looked like Simley almost came down in front of the 96.
Yeah, that was really close there. That was a huge close right there, and that's another thing these guys with new tires have to negotiate. Is it's a lot easier for the guys with newer tires to be able to move their car around the track and change lanes as opposed to these guys that are a little bit slower on older tires. So it's almost the guys in older tires. It's kind of like just hey, hold your line, do your thing. The guys in new tires, we'll get around you. That's kind of the gentleman's agreement there.
Here's another comparison for you. Last time by. On the start of lap 73, Mitch Rollo was 22.7 seconds behind Anthony DeBarro. This last lap by, he was 18.6 seconds. That's how much he made up in one lap. And DeBarro, if he's got a crew chief, they've got to be looking at this and knowing that their gamble is not going to pay off for them if this continues.
Well, yeah, I just don't think it's going to. I just don't think it's going to work out in the long run for him, unless, obviously a caution can change everything. I mean, a caution in the next few laps or a caution later on in the race, it can change everything for them. Who knows? But, yeah, right now I don't think that's the way to go. And I think it's just going to be a matter of time before we see one of these guys that was already in the lead, like Mitch, I think, or Comstock. I think we're going to see one of these guys pass DeBarro and these other leaders soon. I honestly think that these leaders are probably going to be pitting quite soon. I think they're gonna have to pit here in the next 5 laps, I would imagine.
Well, Rollo was just cutting through the top 10. He's already up to 9th, just past Doy Woods for 8th. He's got Trey Etzen in his sights now for 7th, and definitely catching our leader. But who knows? I don't even want to speculate anymore on this. We're just gonna keep watching this as it unfolds, folks, and tell you. Falkingham is right behind Mitch, not too far there. So they're all there. They're all catching the leaders, and we're all. Looks like Parker just pulled off in the pit road. So there goes.
Somebody's
Parker.
up into the wall. Somebody's in the wall in turn 1 and 2. Right? Yeah. I'm trying to look at it right now.
Standish is on pit road.
Steve
Ritter in the 16, maybe.
DeBarro's on pit road.
DeBarro's on pit road. Okay.
Looks like Cohan's still out there. Yeah, Cohan is still out there right now. I'm guessing you're going to see him making his pit stop here soon.
Yeah, the car that you saw up on the wall there, and he did a great job holding up with Steve Ritter. Looks like he got loose and got up into the wall pretty hard there, but didn't bring out the caution, so we stay green. And I tell you what, that's really going to shake the field up right there.
Yeah, here comes Cohan in the lead. Mitch Rollo is going to take over the lead, but Cohan gave up the lead coming down pit road right now. Looks like a couple guys come down pit road.
All right, so we put
Ryan.
DeBarro and those guys into the pits on lap 79. They could possibly make it from here without having to stop again. So we'll see how this pays off for them.
You know, I'd be a big gamble, though. I mean, because, like, we saw how big the drop-off there was, and, you know, Mitch Rollo was catching those guys. It was just a matter of time. If these guys wouldn't have pitted, it was just a matter of time, maybe just a few more laps before Rollo would have had those guys. So on this next run, if they do that again, you know, are they going to run into that same thing, you know, with guys with new tires? Are they going to be able to catch them before the finish with, you know, those guys with old tires, or if those guys with old tires are in the lead toward the end, you know, if this is the way it's going to all work out?
Well, here's another thing to look at. They're also all a lap down now. All those guys that stayed out that long are all a lap down. We've got 27 cars now in the lead lap. Jimmy Coleman in the 3 car being the last one in the lead lap. So that's something to look at, Don. I just, you know, I'm with you. I don't think that gamble paid off for them. I really don't. Even if they can go for the rest of the race without stopping, we saw how fast Mitch Rollo was on those new tires once he did pit and take tires. So I don't know. We've got a little under 50 laps to figure it out, folks. So we're going to take a commercial break real quick, catch our breath, get some water down our pipes, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Don't fear, though. You won't miss a bit of the action as we go corner to corner.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium? Check. Formaldehyde? Check. Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And we're back live, and folks, I don't know if you saw that or not, but we just had a three-wide fight, between the 27-7 and back there the 82 of Chad Cole, who is right now our 5th place driver. So these are all a bunch of, you know, it's all mixed up right now. We got guys that are a lap down from staying out extremely long on their tires, trying to stretch that fuel mileage out. They're unlapping themselves as we speak. Anthony DeBarro is trying to unlap himself right now. He's Comstock, who's our 3rd place driver, is going to blow by him. He's got to get by Falkingham, and then he's got Mitch Rollo way up there in the lead. Mitch right now, Don, has a 1.7 second lead, and it's growing over Daniel Falkingham. But like I said, it looks like some of these guys that stayed out for a really long time, guys like Gabriel Perry and Gillenwater, they've unlapped themselves. And Cohan's done it, and Randy Yoakum's done it also. So this could get interesting towards the end of this race.
It could. I mean, we've been talking about it all night, the drop-off and the tire wear and everything. That's all we've been talking about. And, you know, as I see Tommy Ryan, he's another car that's catching these leaders. And that's going to, you know, or wait, no, Tommy Ryan's on the lead lap. My bad. He just passed Comstock. I was looking at a different battle. But these guys...
Don't feel bad. It's confusing.
It is confusing. I'm trying to figure out which guys are on the lead lap and which guys aren't half the time. But like you said, you know, some of these guys that pitted, that went on this long run, you know, they might try to make it all the way to the end. And, you know, caution can totally throw that to the wind there. And all the, I mean, I know as soon as the caution comes out, these guys, everybody's going to pit, and it's going to be, everything's going to go right out the window, and everybody's going to be on the same tires, same fuel, everything. But, you know, right now, I mean, Rollo's, like you said, he's basically spreading that lead out. He's got a commanding lead of 1.7 seconds on Daniel, and he's just really walking away with it right now and making the race his own.
Well, Keaton's 2 laps down, but he just got one of those back. And Navarro is now back on the lead lap. But again, he just pitted not too long ago, about 5-6 laps ago, whereas your leader, Mitch Rollo, he's been out now for 21 laps, it looks like.
Yeah.
22 laps? 24 laps, excuse me. So he's been out for a while on his tires. His tires are starting to give up on him a little bit, but he has a very commanding lead. And here's another thing that I did notice during the racing that I've done so far this week in the A car is once you go a certain distance on these tires, a certain amount of laps, and you get used to driving it, about 35, 40 laps in, yeah, you're still losing time, but the car actually, I don't want to say neutralizes out, but it comes back to you. You follow what I'm saying, Don?
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah. I know what you're saying. It's almost as if like, the car does come back to you a little bit. It's almost like the tires kind of get their second wind, so to say. I know what you mean. I almost want to say it's almost like you finally get used to driving a car with these old tires, and you kind of, by the time you figure it out, and you kind of get a little bit faster again, but you're going to have to pit. I know exactly what you mean. They do come back a little bit, and you don't have quite as much drop-off.
Exactly, and I don't know if you saw that right there, but Rollo just wiggled a lot coming off of turn 2 right there, coming down into 3 and 4. But in the meantime, I'll tell you what, man, he's got a 1.8 second lead over Falkingham in second, Comstock back there in third, Ryan in fourth, Chad Cole in fifth, and Rivera in sixth. And then it's about 15 seconds all the way back to your 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th plated drivers. That would be Fuller, McCallantoni, Casto, O'Rourke. And I tell you what, we got a wreck. Oh, no.
Oh.
Big wreck. Took out the leader, and he's going to take a few more cars with him, it looks like. Oh, my goodness. And that's going to be the end of the night for Motorola. He has no front end left at all.
Yeah, that's just a heartbreaker. I mean, what can you even say about that?
Let's see what happened here on this replay. I'm so heartbroken for Rollo. He had a great race going there. Looks like Yoakum in the 8 car just completely lost it coming off of turn 2. No, he had a little bit of help there, it looks like, from Chad Coleman in the 20 car. Got up into the wall, spun down, and then spun right straight up in front of the 96. And then there were a few cars that came in after the fact there. The 4 got into it a little bit there. That's just so unfortunate, Don.
Yeah, that's too bad right there. Randy Yoakum just had a little help there, it looked like, and just came right back up on the track right in front of the leaders. Yeah, I mean, you hate it. You got to hate it for Mitch there. Just such a commanding lead, such a great car all night just to have something like that happen to him.
Well, in the meantime, we've got our leaders that were not caught up in that accident about to head down pit road. And this is kind of going to level the field for everybody with about 35 laps to go. It looks like we'll go back to green, and we'll just reset this whole thing and go back at it. We got a couple of cars that took some heavy damage. We can try and get some pits, some fixes done in their pits, and get back out, because you mentioned this earlier. Points. This is all about the points.
Yeah, it's definitely about the points. I was just actually looking to see if our in-race reporter, Anthony DeBarro, got into that. I was going to see after his pit stop, maybe we should pull him up and have a word with him.
Yeah, let's try that.
Looks like he's having his pit stop right now. He pulled in. He's getting his tires in fuel right now. So maybe when he's done with his pit stop, we can pull him up.
Anthony DeBarro, this is John up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, how you doing?
Well, my friend, it looks like, Don and I have been up here debating this whole last, half an hour on what you guys were trying to pull with the length of time you stayed out there, but it looks like this caution is going to kind of negate that. But I was guessing that you were trying to make it long enough on that last stop that you wouldn't have to stop again. Was I right?
Oh, yeah, and it was going to work well until I plowed the cone coming into the road and got 15 seconds. So I would have been 15 seconds ahead of where I was.
Man, that's unfortunate, but at least your luck's a little bit better than Mitch Rollo, our leader. The guy's led almost the entire race and just got involved in another accident on track that wasn't even his doing, and it looks like he might be done, so that's going to kind of open the door for the rest of you guys, it looks like.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, you got to be lucky in these deals, too, and looks like you got a little unlucky there. I haven't seen the replay, but from what I heard on the radio, it wasn't too kind, so I don't think it was a smart move someone made, but we'll see if we give you guys a good race here and hopefully go green in the end.
All right, buddy. We'll let you get back to it. I'm going to put you down there with your teammates. Good luck.
Thank you.
And I tell you what, folks, that was just a really unfortunate incident between our leader, Mitch Rollo, and a lap car that got a bit of help, it looked like. And unfortunately, Mitch Rollo has put behind the wall there, Don.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to see it. I mean, it's one thing to, be racing for position and have, the leader get taken out because he's racing, second place is racing with him or something. But it's just so unfortunate to have a lap car dictate that like that. It's just a real shame. Mitch had a great car. He was really dominating performance tonight. And, like we say, week in and week out, anything can happen at any time in these races.
And speaking of Mitch Rollo, looks like he's coming out of the infield care center there. Mitch, this is John. How you doing, bud?
Fantastic.
I'm sorry. I wasn't being sarcastic when I asked that. I know that you're not happy right now, my friend, but I want to say this. You looked really, really strong out there tonight. We were very, very impressed with the run you had going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a lot to say that isn't bad, but what I will say is, they knew we were here tonight, and what happened with Randy. He's already apologized and everything, but apologies don't really make up for that. We were looking good to win the race, and I don't know if we had the strategy to do it, but when it comes down to it, I mean, I didn't know which way to go. He overcorrected about 18 times before I got to him, so I don't know if he was going to overcorrect low again, so I just went straight into him. Probably partially my fault. Should have just went right down to the bottom of the track, because no one here knows how to hold their brakes. So we'll come back next week at Vegas and try and win that one.
All right, bud. Well, again, I am sorry about your luck tonight, but we'll see you next week, bud.
Appreciate it, guys.
And that was Mitch Rollo, driver of the 96 car from Crossover Motorsports. He had some rough luck tonight there, Dom. He led a lot of the laps, but didn't have the luck to end it all. In the meantime, folks, we're back to green and a new leader. Oh, we're under caution again. And I'll tell you what, that was a direct result of spinning the tires there, Don. Let's go back and see if we can figure out what happened there.
Yeah, it looked like somebody spinning the tires. You can easily do that here in Atlanta. It's not hard to do. On old tires, you can definitely spin the tires. Trying to figure out who that was right now.
We'll try.
We're searching through the field, guys.
Shortly.
Yeah, it was really hard to tell who was that spun the tires. We're all kind of checking right now.
Looks like the 44 got a little help there.
That's what I was thinking.
Before they even came to the green.
Yeah, it looked like that. Yeah, I think that might have been what happened.
Something happened in the 44 before they even came around to the green. I'm not sure if he had an equipment malfunction or what, but he just turned right and slid, and right as they went to green, so that's going to bring the caution right back out again. Kind of like a wave off almost there, Don.
Yeah, it's like the caution came out before these guys even had a chance to get going. Yeah, that was really weird there.
Now, the thing is, before they went to green, Falkingham was on the outside and got such a good start. He passed up the leader. So I'm kind of wondering if they're going to let that stand. I mean, I guess so. It doesn't look like he got a black flag or anything.
No, it looks like he might line. Yeah, I think he was the leader.
Okay.
He was the leader, so he was able to choose his line, so that's why, yeah, he should be fine.
Okay, my apologies, folks. I didn't realize he was actually the leader. We were kind of talking to Mitch Rollo there and not paying attention. That's my fault. So we're going to rack him, stack him one more time here and see if we can get this thing going back to green.
Yeah, I mean, we only have, let's see, we got, what, 30, it looks like we're going to about 31 laps to go after they pass the start-finish line here. So we're going to have a good little run here. We've talked about it before. These guys, tires, wear out after about 15, 18 laps, something like that, I think we've seen tonight. And, we're going to have about a 30-lap run here to the end, as long as we don't get any yellows. These guys are going to have some wore-out tires, but, not too bad. But should be pretty racy here to the end.
It should be. We should. I tell you what, we're going to take another commercial break, folks, and we're going to leave a corner in the corner for you. So grab yourself some liquid and catch your breath, because we're in for a good fight when this thing goes back to green.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium? Check. Formaldehyde? Check. Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to Hot Atlanta, folks. We've got the lights out on the pace car going back to green here shortly, Don. And I tell you what, our top 10 has taken on a whole new shape here. It's really unfortunate what happened to Mitch, but let's roll on. We've got Sean Castro, who started 34th. He's up to 6th. That's a pretty long way to come for a run. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, these guys have fresh tires, 30 laps to go on this run. I hope we see it all the way to the end to the green. You know, I hope we don't get any more yellows. These guys have just been really good racing so far tonight. We saw a dominating performance by Mitch, and now, you know, he's not in the race anymore, so I have to see who the new dominator is going to be.
Well, here we go. Pace car is off. Green flag is back in the air. We got a great start there again by Falkingham on the outside. In the second position there is Comstock. And we got another caution immediately once this thing goes green. I don't know what's going on with these guys, but I'm fairly certain Race Control is going to try and calm them down now.
Yeah, Race Control is going to get this under control, so to say. I'm trying to figure out what caused that yellow. I'm guessing it was probably another tire spin, but I'm trying to figure out what happened.
I'm sure it was tire spin.
I'm trying to figure out what car it was. It was in the very back.
Oh, it was Joey Gattina,
yeah. Yep, it sure was. Joey Gattina looked like he might have spun his tires coming to the green. He hit the wall and then got tagged by somebody from behind. And, yeah, that's what brought the yellow out there right there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Gattina. He had a pretty decent run going there. But this is going to hurt his odds tonight. He's got no bumper left on that car, and the front end's all tore up. Looks like Keaton got a little piece of that in the 7 car. Well, folks, we're going to try and rack him and stack him one more time. But I promise you we'll get this race back underway one way or the other. Huh, Don? If we have to get out there and just, you know, start directing traffic ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just it's a nature of the beast. It's just the track is hot and slick. And, I mean, you know, believe it or not, it's easy to be able to spin these tires. I mean, even these guys start in second gear. You know, they got fairly new rubber on these on these cars. They haven't really had any racing conditions since they've had their last pit stop. So, but it's very easy to spin the tires. I mean, you can get going too much, stomp on that gas too hard, and just the ass end of the car just comes around.
Oh yeah, I saw it so many times in the last week myself doing some A-car racing in Atlanta. Hell, I did it myself. I started to cheat a little bit, Don, towards the end of the week. I learned, unless I was actually leading the race, I would lag back about 3 or 4 car lengths. And I know people hate to hear that, and not starting third. And coming out of 4, I just started easing into the gas a little bit. And by the time the leader usually went, I would be fast enough where I wasn't getting run over in the back, but I wasn't spinning my tires either.
Well, I want to tell you something, a little personal story. Twice this week, twice. Once in a C-class race, once in a B-class race. I was in the front row with about 10 laps to go, and the guy on the inside, while I was on the outside of the front row on a restart, spun their tires and wrecked me. 2 times
Ouch.
this has happened this week. So tire spin is definitely an issue at this track.
Well, our lucky dog is Sean Dewar in the 62 car. He's going to get himself back on the lead lap. His car doesn't look too bad. I know that he was involved in an earlier incident. He got some right front damage to it. But at least he's back on that lead lap now. Can probably make himself up a few more spots because, like we said, it's all about points this week. Daytona was kind of just a one-off, I guess, for lack of a better word. It's not going to matter. You know, we know he had a winner, but it was a Talladega. I mean, it was a plate race. So, you know, now we get down to real racing with these guys, and every week these points matter. So if you can get out on track and stay there and pass up the guys that are retired and wrecked out, then you'll probably gain a few points.
And definitely, and I'm looking forward to these guys. You know, hopefully they got all these yellows out of their system and we can go back green, because we've seen guys like Dave Comstock. You know, he's just been very methodical tonight. You know, if you're faster than me, go by. But here, the laps are winding down. He necessarily can't do that anymore because now it is the end of the race. So we'll have to see how he handles the end of this race. Chad Cole, he's been fast all night, so it's definitely going to be a little bit of a challenge there for Daniel, the leader in the 39.
Well, right now, folks, our top 10 sets like this. We've got Daniel Falkingham, 39 car, leading it. David Comstock, second. Chad Cole in the 82, that's third place. Tommy Ryan, the 99, fourth. Sean Casto, all the way from 34th up to 5th. He's having a pretty good run tonight. Justin Fuller right there. He's made his way back into the top 10 after some unfortunate incidents earlier where he got a little loose and lost some spots. Anthony M. Calantoni, the 84 car, up from 29th to 7th. Sean Bounty. Here's somebody we haven't talked a whole lot about tonight there. Don, Sean Bounty, he's all the way up to 8th from 26th. E.J. O'Rourke up to 9th from 25th. And our top 10 is rounded out by Ben Kilcrease, who's still flying back there in the top 10. So that's pretty good. The lights are off of the pace car, folks. Clouds are on the track now, Don. So we might see some temperature drop off. Matter of fact, right there, just drop down a whole degree from 120 to 119.
Yeah, cloud cover is definitely going to have an effect on the temperature of this track. It's going to make it faster. It's going to have a little bit more grip, and these guys definitely going to be looking for grip. And like you said, we got a lot of guys that started deep in the field tonight that are in the top 10, cracked the top 10. We haven't talked about tonight, so they're definitely going to be hungry. They're going to be hungry for a win, and they're going to be hungry to keep that top 10 finish.
Well, I'll tell you what, something to look out for. We've already seen it twice. Tires spinning on the restart, Don. It's never a pretty thing when it happens to you, and it's definitely not something you want to see happen in front of you.
No, we've been lucky. Both incidents have been in the back. We definitely don't want to see that in the front because that just makes all those cars stack on top of each other. So hopefully you get a clean start here as looks like the pace car is getting ready to pull off. I
just noticed this. The 42's got some right front damage he got from somewhere that might have affected his car as well. But here we go. Pace car is about to duck off there on the pit road. And we're going to go back to green cloud. They're still on the track, so we're going to see a little drop in temperature. And here we go. Pace car's off. Back to green flag racing. And it looked like a little schnookering going on there by Falkingham. He wiggles his tires a little bit. He got loose. That's going to give the 42 a shot down on the inside, take that lead away. And possibly the 82 of Chad Cole is going to move in there and take second.
Yeah, Daniel definitely lost a bunch of spots there. You see him check up a little bit. It looked like Chad Cole had to roll it up just a little bit. As you see the 99 duck up high. They're all kind of going up high there. They're in single file right now. Chad Cole's going to try to make a run there on the 39, but I don't think he can quite do it as we see Comstock in the lead right there. We talked about him earlier. He's been methodical tonight. Now he's in the lead. We'll see what we can do with it.
We talked about it at the drop of the green flag just now. Track temperature dropping. It's down to 107 from 119 degrees 2 laps ago there, Don.
Yeah, and that's just going to do nothing but make these cars faster, give them some more grip, and this is exactly what we want to see for this like almost 23-lap shootout here we're going to have at the end. As you see those guys in the back past about 5th place or side by side back there just battling.
I was just about to comment on that. We got Castro in the 52 on the outside, O'Rourke behind him on the outside. Big Kilcrease taking it 3 wide.
3 wide.
1 and 2. Look at this, man. No fear, baby. No fear. And look at that, Sean Bounty down on the inside, 3 wide, something we don't normally see here at Atlanta this late in the race with the slick tires, but it's time to go, man, and Kilcrease knows that. It's time to move on up and get some spots here. So move Ben Kilcrease up to 8th, maybe. O'Rourke might have something to say about that back there.
He's definitely, there he goes. You can call him Mr. Jefferson. He's moving on up to that spot right there on the low side.
Love it.
And and he's definitely making his way up through the field.
And now that song will be stuck in my head for the rest of the night. In the meantime, back behind Ben, we still got 2x2 here. And our in-race reporter, Anthony DeBarro, we haven't talked to him. We probably should have tried to grab him for a minute during those cautions we had, but we didn't get a chance to. He's up there duking it out on that high line with O'Rourke in front of him and Kevin DeBrown, the 93 behind him, another crossover motorsports driver. Kevin had some rotten luck earlier in this race, got spun out, but he looks like he's made a great comeback now. Down on the inside, the 34 of Sean Boundy is kind of holding these guys up. He's got the 21 of Cohan behind him, and the 15 with that beat-up front end of Nick Silver and the Heinz ketchup car. Where's my french fries at?
They're going to go 3 wide again, as you see Nick Cohan. Oh, for a second they were 3 wide. Now they're 3 wide again. The two Dizzy Motorsports drivers are basically going to split Sean Bounty there and just go right between him. You see him 3 wide. He's getting really tight there. Oh, it closes in. Oh, and they make it work. You can see it looked like the two Dizzy Motorsports drivers were going to close in on Bounty there, as themselves are now 2 wide going through that corner. We're having 3 wide racing here at the end of the race with these old tires. This is great.
And nobody cares. It's time to move and go, man. That was really impressive that nobody really wrecked themselves there. In the meantime, Kilcrease is on the move in that 00 car. He's down on the inside now with a 52 car, trying to take that spot away from Castro, trying to move up to 6th spot. I think he's looking for some vengeance maybe. His teammate got destroyed by a lap car not too long ago, knocked out of the lead, so maybe Kilcrease thinks it's time for him to move up and show his streak. So he's down there that low line, hugging that white line, making it work. He gets past the 52. Might clear him now, going down to 3 there, Don.
We got side-by-side battle for the lead up front there with Chad Cole and Daniel Falkenham.
Yes, we do, and I tell you what, this is an exciting finish to this race, and we're really not even to the end yet. We're only on lap 113 right now. Going down to 1 and 2. Cole's on the inside, Falkenham on the outside. Falkenham's going to try and wrestle that lead back from Cole on that outside lane. He's not going to make it work. Look at that speed that Cole carries off of 1 and 2, Don. Yeah,
he carried a ton of speed on that low side going through that corner, but usually the high side is the line that you're going to be able to carry the momentum through there. Look like Chad Cole's going to be able to complete the pass. Not quite. Daniel's not giving it up there on the high side. He's fighting all the way, and he's still trying to get that nose up there on the high side as he tries to carry that speed into turn 1.
Yeah, Cole's going to go ahead and pull ahead right there.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry about that.
My apologies. Yeah, Cole finally completes that pass. We saw this last night with Falkenham in the Xfinity race. He doesn't like that high side very much. I mean, he tries to use it to his benefit, but it just doesn't seem to agree with his driving style. So we're going to go ahead and put Cole, another crossover motorsports driver, up to the lead now in that 82 car. Second place will be 39 of Falkenham. Third place is Tommy Ryan for now. But look back here with Kilcrease all over the bumper of Fuller in that 5, trying to take that spot away. He's up to 5th. We got a caution on track.
We got a caution on track with 15 laps to go. Trying to find out where the incident is right now. Going through the field. It looks like the number 44
car of Jimmy Colvin.
It looks like Campbell's in it too. Maybe the 44.
Oh my goodness.
44.
It's the 3 and the 44.
It's the 3 and the 44, from what I can see right here. Look like maybe 2 separate incidents. I'm not sure.
Well, Cole got a little help there from the 40 car of Trey Edson. Came back up on track into the wall and then collected the 44, who collected Joey Jattina for his second wreck. So Joey was missing a back bumper. Now he's missing a front bumper. Well, at least he's consistent.
I mean, at least that's less weight on the car, I guess.
He doesn't have to worry about overheating.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry, we shouldn't joke about Jatina's bad luck tonight. He's another one of those guys. I talked about this last week. Between Jatina and Dan Denier, we're going to have to come up with a tough luck award for those two, because they just can't seem to stay out of other people's trouble. Now, granted, Joey spun his tires tonight and got himself in a little bit of trouble there, but once again, he's just a victim of circumstance when somebody else gets in a wreck in front of him. But look at this. We got leaders on pit road here, Don. I really didn't expect to see that, to be honest with you.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. We've had about 15 laps on these tires, maybe a little bit more than that. I mean, they did have some yellow flags there, but the drop-off is so huge. I'm actually curious to see if we're going to see any guys do 2 tires.
Well,
but Chad Cole slid through his pits a little bit, yep.
So that could cost him the lead, but he was really strong there on that last restart. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that. But in the meantime, let's see who wins this race off pit road. There goes the 39 of Falkingham. And I think we had some two-tire stops back there, Don.
I do too, and I think Falkingham got out. I think he's going to end up with the lead pending any kind of speeding penalty or anything if there is one. And it looks like Chad Cole might get second.
Oh, I'll tell you what, the 23 of Josh Parker, two-tire stop right there.
Oh, yeah, he did. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, we saw a bunch of guys with two tires right there, so that looks like if any, I don't know if anybody stayed out. It doesn't look like anybody did. Wetzel, yeah, it looks like Wetzel stayed out, didn't pit. We're going to let this filter around a little bit before we start guessing, but man, I tell you what, that's some drama on pit road right there, Don.
Big time drama, and I'll tell you, I think what we're going to see now is restart drama, because if these guys stayed out on old tires, we are going to see some tire spin if these guys are not super careful, and these guys are going to be in front of the whole entire field that has new tires. This is going to be really
interesting. I see a lot of damaged cars also. I wonder if these guys aren't just trying to get their laps back, but
right now I'm showing Bobby Wetzel in the lead. He did not pit.
And then Falkingham, first car on 4 tires.
Then Parker with 2.
Josh Parker
with 2 tires, I believe.
2 tires, right.
And then Chad Cole and everybody behind him, I think, might have taken 4. Maybe Cass, I think maybe the 52 might have took 2 tires.
Yeah. We're going to find out here shortly. It's going to be glaringly obvious.
Obviously, yes.
Who took tires and who didn't here, Don, because like you said, spinning these tires, you can do it with brand spanking new tires very easily. And Wetzel's out there on, what, 30-lap old tires? So this could be really interesting.
It could be very interesting. Like I said, I was the victim of it twice in a official race. So, I mean, it can happen so easy. And especially in these A cars, these things have so much horsepower. It's just being able to put that horsepower down to the asphalt with these worn tires. I'm just... I don't know, man. I don't know.
And I'm glad you brought that up, the horsepower. We saw that new package this weekend in the real-life Atlanta race. What'd you think about it?
You know, I didn't watch a single lap of that race.
What?
I didn't watch a single lap of that race. I caught some highlights, and I did see a lot of talk, and a lot of people were talking about how much 3-wide racing they were getting for the first 30 laps of the race. But, I mean, they had like 300 laps to do, so I just... From what I saw, everybody say is like the first part of the race was really good, but didn't really. I don't know. I'm used to the old side-by-side finishes in Atlanta, the photo finishes that we used to have years ago.
Absolutely, Earnhardt and Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Labonte. That's exactly what I was just thinking of. Bobby Labonte, Harvick, and Gordon. And just that's the kind of fishes I'm used to seeing in Atlanta.
It was all right. I thought I enjoyed the restarts, man. We were seeing 4 wide on restarts at Atlanta. 4 wide, man. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But, folks, let me clarify. We don't have that new package.
No, we don't.
Yet. We have 850 horsepower. So, whew, it's going to be fun, man. Man, I heard that's what I'm hearing in my ear. My producer screaming, "We're going to get it soon, though."
Yeah. That's what they always say.
Keyword in iRacing, soon.
Yep.
Well, here we go, Don. Pace lights are off. Pace car's going to duck down to pit road here shortly, and we're going to see if Wetzel can survive those old tires. Here we go. They're rolling, and he's off. He did spin him right there.
Oh,
he gets crossed up and takes out everybody. Oh, this
That's
is going to be
what we were saying. Chad
big crash.
Cole.
Big crash.
The 41 is in it. Just so many cars are in it. And that's what we see. Old tires up front, spinning them. That's what happened.
And I hate to say that
Falkenheimer might have got through it. Yeah, Falkenheimer got through it, though, but I think pretty much after that, everybody got wiped out.
You mean Falkenham,
Falkenham. I'm sorry. I say his name so wrong.
That's okay.
So messed up.
Hey, I just feel better that I'm not the only one screwing up names.
I am messing his name up so bad. I'm just going to call him Mr. Daniel.
I tell you what, that aggravates me. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be pessimistic, but, I mean, come on, man.
Chad Cole got beat up pretty bad. He had a car to win it. That's a shame. A lot of crossover motorsports cars got beat up. I mean, just carnage in that field right there. You hate to see it, but yeah, guys take a chance, and unfortunately, that's what happens.
That was a huge wreck. Huge. And I mean, he took out several great cars that all of them had a chance to win this race. And I mean, Kilcrease plowed in there. He's done. I mean, that's just.
Unfortunately tonight, we've seen accidents happen from guys that maybe were taking some extra chances that they probably maybe it's questionable whether they should be taking those or not, and took out a whole bunch of good cars tonight. It's just a shame to see that happen.
I agree, and I want to make an observation. I've got nothing against Bobby Wessel. Great driver.
No, not at all.
Here's the thing. You've already seen, 3 people spin their tires on restarts and destroy the car on brand new tires. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Why take that gamble of taking yourself out, but also because you're the leader, taking out other cars on old tires? I just don't understand the thinking behind that.
I don't get it either. I don't understand it. I mean, yeah, it's just I don't know. You just have to wonder with some of these crew chiefs, some of the calls they make.
Well, in the meantime, folks, we are at lap 122, coming around on 123 when we do go back to green, and we will. I'm sure we're going to have maybe, 3 or 4 laps left there, Don, and that's just going to be crazy, I think.
Yeah, these guys are pretty much going to have fresh rubber on their tires, and we're going to see some guys up front there that we haven't really seen some of the night. I mean, Comstock's in 5th. We've seen him up front all the night, but the 52, Sean Castro, we haven't seen him up here. Justin Fuller, we saw him earlier bounce back from that pit road incident where he nosed it in the pit wall. Now he's up to 3rd. He's had a heck of a rebound there. So, yeah, we'll have to see how this works out here.
Well, let's go ahead and give you folks a rundown of our top 10 as they cross the line now. It should be the official top 10 right now. Daniel Falkingham in 1st, Tommy Ryan 2nd, Justin Fuller, like Don just touched on, bouncing back from earlier pit road incident. He's 3rd place. Sean Castro is 4th from 34th. Dave Comstock is in 5th. Anthony Calantoni 6th. Anthony DeBarro, our in-race porter. Let's get him up here for a chat if we can there, Don. He's in 7th. Nicholas Cohan in 8th. And Kevin Brown 9th. He's the only crossover motorsports left in this thing is competitive. And then Sean Bounty in 10th. So we're going to see if we can get a hold of our in-race reporter, Anthony DeBarro. Roger that. We're going to see if we got him here. Anthony, John up in the booth. How you doing, bud?
How you doing? You enjoying this melee we're having here?
I am going to plead the 5th, Your Honor, but I want to know how you feel about all this craziness.
I wish I had track position because I know we got the car to win the race, but right now my goal was to salvage the top 10 out of that botched strategy there with that caution. So we're 7th. Hopefully the 5 looks like he's pretty tore up, so I'm hoping we make it through this restart here and salvage a good day out of this.
All right, buddy. Well, look, spinning tires has been the bane of restarts here. How you feeling about that right now?
Well, I feel like I could restart just about as good as anyone in the field right now, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, my friend, when it looks like the lights are off the pace car, you guys getting ready to go back to green. We'll let you get back to it. Tighten your belts up, Anthony. It's going to be a hell of a restart, bud.
Good luck. Enjoy the show.
And that was Anthony DeBarro, our in-race reporter, who's got his hands full right now. He is in 7th place, but as we've seen, folks, spinning tires is what kills race cars.
Yeah, and I'm told right now Daniel's got a nickname there, Thunder Dan. I guess is what one of his teachers call him, Thunder Dan. So
I don't think I want to know what the hell that's all about.
So right now, Thunder Dan is in the lead, and we're going to be able to see if he can pull off his win.
And he chooses that inside line down there, which is something we haven't seen him do. We've usually seen him pick the top line, but to each their own, I'm sure, But behind him, I think when he's looking at it, he's got that damaged car back there behind, so he won't have to worry about anybody running into him behind. And Fuller really does have a lot of damage on that 5 car, nose and tail. I think he probably got some of that from that last crash on the restart there, Don.
Yeah, a bunch of those guys got caught into that, and yeah, he's definitely got some front-end damage. We'll have to see how that affects his car here, but we'll have to make sure Dan gets a great start here because he's going to definitely need it, especially if another yellow comes out.
Well, he's got that 99 of Ron out there who's undamaged. There goes our pace car. Turn that hard left down pit road. The green flag is out. Falkingham's off to a pretty good start there. He's going to stretch it out and take that lead
tire
away
spin in the very back.
It stays green so far, but look at this. Fuller is really holding up that inside line with that damaged car. He's loose real bad right there. The 52 gets loose behind him on the outside line and balls them up, and he is crabbing right there coming out of that turn. So Comstock's going to sneak down there underneath him, try and take that spot away for 4th. And, maybe not. Fuller fights back on the outside. In the meantime, behind them, the 52 car and a 27 are are kind of shuffling each other around looking for a spot, and I believe the 5 just tagged the wall right there coming out of 4. That's definitely going to slow him down. Meantime, the 52 gets a hell of a run down there. The inside hits the grass, gets loose, and gets the 42, and they look like they're oh no, the 84's up on the wall, and there goes the wreck. That's going to be the caution, and more than likely going to be the race.
Oh, big yellow, big there. And Comstock, what a save by Comstock. I mean, he saved that car. He had it completely saved, and then those guys just kept wrecking behind him.
That's a huge wreck, and unfortunately, Aaron Race reported to borrows a part of that. A lot of cars got involved in this wreck, man. That's just unfortunate right there. And here's the replay, folks. As you can see, that was just somebody getting a little overly aggressive, really, is what that is there, Don.
Yeah, definitely. He got the run on the Comstock there, got it on the inside of him, bumped him, came back up the track, and it really checked up the whole field. A lot of those guys are just kind of avoiding that wreck and just unfortunately just piled into each other. Almost looked like a Talladega or a Daytona wreck there.
It really does. And what I saw there, the worst part of that, though, unfortunately, was the 84 car up there on the outside line. I don't know if he was just trying to, beat the wreck, try to get around it, but Anthony M. Calantoni on that outside line, he didn't check up as much as everybody in front of him did, and that's kind of really what started the whole big chain reaction, because really the 42 and the 52 had saved their cars and were rolling on there, it looked like, but then, like I said, the 84 just came in there, and it was a chain reaction from there.
Yeah, definitely. The initial wreck, like we were talking about, between the 52 and the 42, it just kind of looked like like you said, it looked like they had it saved. Comstock had a heck of a save there. He was pretty much completely sideways, and I mean, good thing he saved that car because it got him a third-place finish. He was able to still keep it in third, and they were able to, just salvage it right there. So too bad a lot of cars got tore up there. A completely different race from the beginning to the end. Had a lot of green flag runs at the beginning, but the end of this race has just been caution-filled.
It really has, and that's so unfortunate. There were some great cars that got taken out in some of those cautions, and some of those cautions did not have to happen, but that is part of racing, folks. You make your decisions and you live with them. So I'm not really sure we're going back to green. We're going to find out here shortly. We're on lap 128, and they are still under caution. Lights are still on the pace car. If they don't go off this time by Don, this was going to finish under caution, and that's unfortunate. I hate seeing the pace car win races.
Yeah, I hate to see that too, especially since we had such long green flag runs in the beginning and such great races in the beginning. Just a few drivers just kind of lost their heads here at the end. It seemed like I don't know exactly, what the thinking was in some of the moves, but it's part of racing. I mean, it happens. Atlanta's a fast track. Things can happen really quick, and there at the end, guys are just battling for position and trying to make everything count. And unfortunately, that's just the way it ends sometimes. Sometimes we have big wrecks at the end, and sometimes the pace car wins.
And that looks like it's going to be the case tonight. The pace lights did not turn off on the pace car, so we will end this one under caution, folks. And that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Daniel's enjoying that. I know he'll take the win. I know it's a big heartbreaker for Mitch Rollo. We saw earlier he was pretty much leading this race. Looked like he was going to dominate it, and Daniel's going to look like pull out of here with a win tonight.
That's really unfortunate. I mean, not just for Mitch, but I mean that whole team really, with the exception of Kevin DeBrown, who looks like he's going to wind up with a top 5 out of this.
Yeah.
Fourth place back there.
What about Scott Stencil? Started 39th place. He's going to take a top 5 out of here tonight. How's that? What a great run for him tonight. He was able to sneak through there. He was able to. He's 5th. 39 car. Yeah. Or the guy that started 39th. Yeah, Scott Stencil. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong guy for a second there, but I mean, just a great finish. Sean Bounty. We saw him have some struggles earlier there. He was right in that wreck and still going to be able to finish salvage a 6th.
And look at Chris Cabot and 10th.
Yeah,
40.
Yeah.
He started dead last in the
dead
field.
last. yeah, that's a great run for him right there.
And he was involved in some earlier incidents. We saw that on the replay, but here we go. They are crossing the finish line now for lap 130, final lap of the race, folks. And that's just that's how it's going to be until iRacing can figure out how to write us some code to give us some green and white checkers. Gosh, I wish they'd hurry up and fix that. I really do.
Yeah, I really hate seeing these races end under caution like this. Sometimes some of these, I mean, not necessarily league races, but some official races, guys will take advantage of that sometimes, the way these races finish. And it's just a shame. I hate to see a race finish under yellow. I mean, some of these guys like it because they, hey, a win's a win, but I always like to see a race finish under green.
I think everybody does, to be completely honest with you, but it's not going to happen this time, folks. We're going to finish this one at caution. Looks like unofficially the results at the moment are going to be Daniel Falkingham first, Tommy Ryan second, Dave Comstock third, Kevin DeBrown fourth, Sean Bounty in fifth, Scott Stenslow, we talked about earlier, from 39th to 6th, Sean Castro 34th to 7th, Timothy Johnston 24th to 8th, Steve Gottschalk started 10th, finished the 9th. Good for him. And then Chris Cabot started dead last in the field and gets himself a top 10 there, Don.
Yeah, definitely a great run tonight for a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys weren't exactly sure how their night was going to end up. And, I know Steve Gottschalk was one of them, Nerf. But, yeah, it's a good finish for him. Good top 10.
And there it is. They crossed the finish line. This race is officially over. And there's your winner, Daniel Falkingham. He's probably going to take it around and burn it down. And we're going to take this opportunity, folks, to take a commercial break. And we're going to leave it on corner to corner so you can watch that burnout from our winner of this race. When we get back, we'll have interviews with top three, and we'll go over some small notes. And we'll see you in a few minutes.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium? Check. Formaldehyde? Check. Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And welcome back to Hotlanta, Don. We've wrapped another one up, and if I'm not mistaken, you have worked your way down there to pit road and caught up with our third place driver.
I have our third place driver here, the driver, the number 42, Mr. David Comstock. Had a great race tonight, man. Pretty much in the top 10 all night, and avoided all that carnage there at the end to be able to come out with a third place finish. How you feel about your race tonight, Dave?
Yeah, that got wild there at the end. Ran, top 5 most of the night. Got shuffled back a little bit through, pit strategies, and unintentionally gave myself an engineering adjustment on the track, as Kilcrease would put it, or Mustang would put it. Whoever come up with that idea, but did it into one pretty bad on the right front, and that was absolutely hurting down the straightaway. So got the lead that one restart, but then I was really slow down the straight, so I got passed like it was nothing. So I was unfortunate, but. Survived the mayhem and come out here with the top 5. We'll take it.
Yeah, it was a great run for you, man. Definitely some carnage tonight. How did you feel about all that? Was it really hard on those restarts? Because it seemed like a lot of guys were struggling with that tire spin on the restarts. We saw caution after caution there at the second half of the race, and it seemed like most of it was just because of tire spin. Was it that difficult on the restarts to be able to keep these cars going straight?
Yeah, it was really tough, even on new tires. So I was very surprised that guys stayed out, let alone on 2, but on no, not even pitting and not even taking tires. That's absolutely suicide by doing that. So I didn't understand that. I mean, I understand that you're hoping for it to be, people having issues and getting down to the thick of things at the end where people are going to be making drastic moves and you having quick yellows and maybe steal some track position that way, but you can't even get going on the restart on newer tires and let alone on old tires. So definitely, don't throttle control on those restarts, and definitely throttle control all throughout this whole race. This was really fun. Just hate that we had a bunch of yellows there at the end.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you still had a great finish tonight with your with your third place finish. You got anybody that might be watching tonight? Any friends, family, sponsors, or teammates you want to mention or thank?
Yeah, everybody at Aftermath Motorsports, their support coming out here and running with the leagues here at Sim500 and all the admins that put on everything. Transervice for sponsoring the series here, and sponsors on the car with racingbiz.com. If you go onto Facebook and check out their live auctions every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, all kinds of really cool NASCAR merchandise or just any kind of racing merchandise that's on there. You can go join the fun on there and go try to put your bids in to get some really cool and unique stuff on there. Door numbers, hero cards, die casts, hats, whatever you think that is out there, they'll have it. So go check that out, racingbiz.com. Gary Mercer Trucking, Moss Energy, JD Lair, JDR Graphics, you guys for broadcasting, everybody, all the fans watching, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And you had a great run tonight. Congratulations on the third place finish, Dave.
Thanks.
And that was Don interviewing our third place driver, Dave Comstock. Had a great run going there. I felt he was probably one of the stronger cars that could have battled with Mitch for the lead towards the end of that race if we'd have gone caution free, which we did not. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe Don has hustled himself down a little bit further and caught up with our second place driver, Tommy Ryan.
Yeah, that's right, John. I'm here with Tommy Ryan, driver of the 99 car, finished in second place tonight, started on the pole, wasn't able to get that last spot, but still had a great run tonight. How do you feel about your race tonight, Tommy?
Very fortunate. I thought I was done for on the restart where the leader spun tires and took out a whole bunch of them because I was in the same lane he was, and Josh Parker was in front of me with two. And I knew Josh had enough talent to pull it off. So I wasn't too worried about him, but I was definitely worried about the guy who we were worried about. But other than that, man, I just tried to maintain in the top five, which I did. And I actually had a shot at Daniel going down the back, and my spotter was telling me to reckon, and man, I put the hammer down, and I was trying to get there, but it came out too quick. But hell of a run, man. Had a great time.
Yeah, it was definitely a different race from the beginning to the end. You know, I saw a lot of green flag runs in the beginning and the end. Definitely a lot of tire spin, wrecks, cautions. I mean, how do you approach that? You know, having a long green flag run at the beginning of the race and at the end of the race, it's a completely different thing. How does that kind of affect you as a driver? Did you have to be kind of more heads up in that second one, seeing all those yellows, or what was the deal there?
I didn't want to see the yellows, honestly. I didn't know how the pit strategy was going to work out because guys were definitely on different schedules. But man, I struggle really hard at restarts, especially in this Cup car, getting the power down. I think everybody else does, but there's a lot of guys better at it than I am because every restart, man, I lost positions. But as soon as I get the power down, you know, third, fourth gear, then I can start rolling back up there. But I got to fight like hell to get it. But you know, I'd rather the thing go green and just let strategies work out and just, you know, come down to the actual driver instead of who can restart the best on old tires or something. It's all part of it. I get it. But, you know, it's adventurous. I'll say that.
Yeah, definitely. That's Atlanta, man. It was definitely carnage tonight. You got anybody that might be watching out there, friends, family, or any teammates, anybody that you want to mention, any sponsors that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, man, all the time. Northern Tool and Equipment, my longtime sponsor. So please go to their website and order some stuff. Our sales are a little bit down right now. We need a lot of help. And then, of course, too, I don't have the associate sponsor on the car, but Coastal Safety Auditors and Patriot Fire, DJ Beverly. He helps me out getting these things. Thanks for everybody who supports me and you guys putting this on and broadcasting. It's always a good show.
Yeah, definitely a good show tonight, Tommy, and congratulations on your second place finish. You had a great run tonight, and hope to see you next week, maybe talking to you again with the podium finish. Maybe a win.
All right, Don, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, take care.
And that was Don giving a great interview to Tommy Ryan, our second place runner tonight. And I have made my way down here into Victory Lane for the Old School's Graphics and Designs Victory Lane interview with Daniel Falkingham, our race winner. Daniel, congratulations, my friend, on an outstanding run.
Thank you very much, John. Let's just say that was a very crazy race. It was a good race in the beginning and the half, and then the second half just turned into a meme pretty much. So can't believe how crazy that race was. It was a lot of fun. I'm typically not a big fan of these really hot racetracks. I know some people prefer it. I really don't, but the more I got into it, the more I started to enjoy it. I'm really starting to enjoy hot tracks a lot more. But yeah, let's just say I kind of took one away.
Well, I don't know about that, Daniel. You were really strong all night long. We were watching you. It seemed to me though that you weren't very comfortable in that middle of the high line like everybody else was. You showed the same thing last night in the Xfinity race. You tried it to get by a few people, but it just didn't look like it was your place to be. Am I right in that?
Yeah, I was actually talking to David in the waiting room where he said he was trying to run the top like what Mitch was doing the whole race, and he was actually slower up there too. And plus, and just for my driving style, I'm not particularly a fan of running the high side. I'm more like a bottom feeder, but when I get comfortable on the high side, I use it. But just with this track, I'm just not comfortable at it. So I stayed on the bottom, and it worked most of the night. Like when we got that undercut on the first green and the only green flag pit stop, I jumped a few people and I started running the bottom a lot, and everyone's tires equalized. So yeah, I was able to hold position in front of Comstock, but he was gaining on me too. So I think he would have got by me, but I was holding off for everyone else behind me too. So but Mitch, I I don't know what to say about Mitch after he got taken out with Randy, I think it was, and then yeah, I think he had the best car. David had a good car too. I don't think I was the best on I was pretty good in the short run, but the long run I struggled. So yeah, I got lucky in this one.
Well, luck or not, my friend, you led the lap that counted the most. You won this one. You got a victory now. You got those points. Is there any family, friends, teammates out there, maybe some coworkers you want to say hi to and maybe thank for your run tonight?
Absolutely, I got to thank First Rate Bait, Lobster 207 for their sponsorship, for their support, and also I actually have a special shout out to Cameron Colby, and who had to recently close down his paint shop, Colby's Eye Paint. So, and that's where I got all my paint schemes done for league racing last year. And luckily, I was able to get this car ready before he had to shut down his shop this year. So, I know he's going through a hard time in his life right now, and I think he said I saw a post earlier on Facebook today. He's had to stay off social. He's gonna be off of social media for a little while. So, all my thoughts to him. I wish him all the best. And also got to thank everyone, Joey, and everyone at Sim500 for putting on this league. Really fun league to compete in. Pretty cool to get to join this league. Also got to thank Transervice for their support, for their sponsorship of the series. Also shout out to my family, mom and dad, for watching this race. Also shout out to my grandmother who was watching this race too. I knew she stayed up late to watch this. Just messaged me after the race and congratulated me. So shout out to her. And thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast, everyone at SRN, and thanks to everyone who watched tonight.
Well, again, Daniel, thank you for being a sport and talking to us after your victory. I know most folks want to go out and grab a beer or something, but hey, congratulations on your win.
I'm not with the drink. So don't worry about that.
I hear you. All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on your win, and we'll see you next week at Vegas.
All right. Thank you, John.
And that's our winner of tonight's race, the Transervice Series, Cup Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway there, Don. Young guy, pretty nice. I had no idea that Cameron Colby had shut down his pace there. That's unfortunate to hear, but, you know, it's a sign of the times. But anyway, Don, what a crazy race tonight, buddy.
What a totally different race from the beginning to the end. It was just total. It was like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of race tonight, man. I mean, some of these drivers, I think, were doing a little Jekyll and Hyde in themselves tonight. I don't know what they were thinking, but it was definitely an entertaining race. Kept the fans on their seats. We saw a lot of cautions at the end, a lot of great racing, and in the end, Daniel took away with win and had a great run. Congratulations to him. Had a great time up here in the booth, man.
Well, you know, you said it yourself. It was one race from the beginning and then completely different at the end. We went 90 laps with one caution. We had one caution on lap 20, which remarkably enough involved the 93 car. And then we went green for 70 laps after that, you know, and saw some pit strategies working out and saw some great racing. And then, you know, we had 6 more cautions from lap 90 on, which really changed the outlook of this race, unfortunately. And you said it yourself, you know, just some guys making some decisions that they probably shouldn't have made.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it goes sometimes in these races. Guys making, you know, trying to make some decisions that maybe get them near the front, get them to finish that they're trying to get. And unfortunately, sometimes they don't always work out. But, hey, that's why we do this, and that's why we go on to the next week and the next race.
That's right. Some notes on the race tonight, folks. 130 laps. We had 7 cautions for 28, and 6 of those came in the last 30 laps, 40 laps there. So we had 15 lead changes. Mitch Rollo, unfortunately, did not finish the race, but was credited with leading 60 of the laps of the race tonight. That's just about half of them almost there, Don. Unfortunately, was caught up in a late race incident with a lap car, and that destroyed his chances of winning tonight. So Daniel Falkingham led 30 laps and brings home the checkered flag. And, folks, that's going to do it for the race tonight from Atlanta for the Sim500 series. The Transervice series presented by Sim500. Don, any last-minute thoughts from the Atlanta race before we head to Vegas next week?
No, I'm just looking forward to Vegas. It's going to be a great track out there, great race out in the desert, close to my hometown, so I can't wait. And, yeah, we had a lot of gambling tonight. We're definitely going to see some gambling in Vegas.
Absolutely. That's what it's known for. It's another, they call them cookie-cutter tracks, Don, but it's really not shaped anything like Texas or Atlanta or Charlotte. It's a D-shaped oval more or less. It is a mile and a half, but I tell you what, the fun part about Vegas is we will absolutely see 3-car wide racing pretty much from the get-go. That's a big wide track, progressive banking, and 1 and 2 are some of the best racing on the track happens in turns 1 and 2. But, folks, that's going to do it for us here at SRN, the Sim Racing Network from Atlanta. Now, don't forget, folks, you can catch us on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube. Just search for the Sim Racing Network on whichever platform you like. Give us a like, give us a follow, get notifications from when we go live so you can watch these awesome races. We'll be doing all kinds of stuff from here on out. Next week, the Transervice Cup Series travels to Las Vegas. And like Don said, we'll probably see a lot of gambling out there also. So for myself, Don Runkle Jr., and Aaron Grosskopf down there in the production van, I'm John Mushin Jr. with the Sim Racing Network. God bless you all and have a good night.